I'm Ashwin Prabhu. I'm going to talk about the unified tracking across on-premise and cloud. Let's do the formalities. As I said, I'm the integration MVP for the last 3 years now. I'm an independent consultant based here in UK. I've been doing BizTalk for the last 14 years. And nowadays, some work on the Azure. That's my blog, my Twitter handler, and the LinkedIn side if you want to connect me professionally. Overview, what I'm going to talk about today, I'm going to talk about the importance of the instrumentation. Why do we need an instrumentation? What it's all about, and what is current day integration is all about. And then I'm going to show you some demos on Power BI to get the details from on-premise, our favorite BAM, and the logic apps, and both combination of on-premise and cloud. I just want to set you up, guys. There are so many things has to come together for the demo to work. I'm going to show demo on getting data from on-premise, connecting to few many things on the cloud, and demo God, as Sarona said, should also help me. And today is a different day. If the demo doesn't work, don't get upset. I'll walk you through. How many of you say BizTalk is a black box, or a secret box, as Mike said, or a magic box? Anyone? That used to be the common, very popular perception that BizTalk is a black box. In one of my previous clients, when I joined there, they showed me their production server. The production server was named as MS001. It's not Microsoft server, it's Magic Server 001. They named the production server as the Magic Server. So they always think that BizTalk is a black box. BizTalk is not black box. Then why do we have BizTalk admin consoles? BAM, BizTalk extensible nature, which allows us to track, log, trace, and archive messages, and our BizTalk 360 to monitor the applications and then keeping us know all the things what are happening within the system. BizTalk is not black box. It's us who makes the BizTalk solution a black box without proper instrumentation. Let me set the context right here. So what is instrumentation is all about? Instrumentation is about letting user know what's happening within the system, letting the user, the stakeholders, the administrators know what's actually your code is doing, how well your code is performing, what is the messaging capacity is, how much more message you can add on. Informed application is the smart application. Instrumentation is all about making your application smarter by letting the stakeholders know what's really happening. Has anyone here received a call on a Friday evening or on a weekend saying that, hey, I'm not received my message. Can you look into the system, please? And you may be in the middle of your barbecue or maybe spending time with your kids. You got to go and connect to your office network and then found out that the source system hasn't sent you any files. There is nothing for you to process. Anyone who has gone through that experience? There are many. Then this picture is for you guys. It's something like getting locked up in your own car boot on an office car park on a Friday evening without going home and then spending time with your family. No one else to blame. You may have a flashy car, you may have an high-spec BizTalk environment, but what's the use of it without the proper instrumentation? People are going to rely on you, people are going to disturb you. Now, some people do that. Some people want everyone to get called to show that they are important. But this is what you are, getting locked up in your own car without the proper instrumentation. Two main reasons I've seen in my experience that instrumentation is often overlooked. One, it's always considered as a secondary development. Everyone appreciates what is instrumentation and what it provides to them, but when it comes to the actual development, they always say, we'll do it. Instrumentation is an art on its own, then an afterthought. Plan it ahead. Plan it much ahead during your project. Create a framework. Let your application go and reuse the framework. Create an instrumentation which is reusable. Don't create bespoke application at the end of the application, at the end of your project. No one is going to give you a time to create applications or time to create instrumentation code on your code. It has to be reusable. It has to be created much ahead of the project. Second reason is value propositions are under-informed. There are two types of features within a product, in any product, or two types of softwares also in general. One which gets sold on its own. There is no need to sell them. Product like BizTalk 360, just show a demo, people will buy it. A feature in BizTalk like BizTalk Mapper, which is a USB for the BizTalk, which shows a unique, the visual representation of the how schema source schema get mapped into the destination. Some feature, they simply use it. Whereas some feature, they just need to be unwrapped. That needs to be told. create a tangible POC, create something, instead of speaking something, hey, this is instrumentation, it's all about this will provide this and that, create something tangible and show it to your stakeholders. I've always seen it in my experience that if you show something to them, create a quick POC, it will always make them interested, especially with the tracking with proper dashboard and everything on which I'm going to show. That will actually make your life easier rather than getting locked up in your car boot. What is today's integration is all about? Integration is not about connecting two different systems. It's about mediating business processes between systems. Our business process requirements have gone exponentially now. They've gone vertically into cloud. Integration is not just about BizTalk anymore. It's going to be a combination of things from on-premise and cloud. You may need to connect with the SaaS connector, or at least you may need to use some of the services online for your operational and cost effectiveness. So today's integration is not just about BizTalk. Have you ever seen this Radio Shack advert, the 1991 old advert which has been going around in social media for a while now? 13 products out of 15 is now gone into a $200 mobile phone. That's today's world. I'm going to give, I think I've missed to say this in the start of the presentation. I'm going to give some analogies to make things easier to understand. So something on this context. So some of the technologies that's been sold in the electronic company or technology firms have now gone into mobile phone as a mobile apps. Today's the IT, the racks and racks of service, the BizTalk server that we'd use, queues, on-premise storages, SQL databases, they are going now into the cloud in a more effective way along with the other services. Today's integration or today's smart IT, it's about cloud. As you have multiple applications into a smartphone, the IT system is now going into the cloud. In my personal opinion, just to give an analogy of what's all about, for me, on-premise is something like an home-cooked food that you get internally. And the Azure is something like a food from a Michelin star restaurant, an high quality, an excellent food, but for a difference, for a normal Michelin star, it comes as a cheaper price. But still, we are going to use the combination of both. As of now, at least for the next few years, is going to be a combination of mains from your home-cooked kitchen and sides from your Michelin star restaurant. Or it's going to be the combination of both. It's going to be the combination of on-premise integration environment and also the cloud. When you have multiple integration environments, on-premise and cloud, why do you want to use multiple dashboards and multiple tools to view what's happening within the system? So this is where the Power BI one-stop monitoring analyzing solution comes into the play. We can use the Power BI the most effective way to see the data both on-premise and on cloud in one place. How many of you like the BAM portal, the quite popular BAM portal? Very good. How many of you, those guys who, most of them doesn't raise their hands, how many of you have tried at least using BAM? That's good. Some of my clients, they say they're not using BAM because they don't like the BAM portal. Maybe it's one of the excuses, but that's still the case. I still feel BAM portal is one of the excellent tools still available. Yes, it's not been updated. It's still an active as Office web components, but still it's one of the good tools which is underutilized, I would say, in BizTalk. In the world of HTML5s, when you have BizTalk 360, the modern day BizTalk administrative consoles, the new BizTalk console, they're coming up with nice repainted versions. Why do you still need to live with the old ActiveX components? So you can still use the latest, the HTML5 based Power BI options. Let's go into the demos. So what I'm going to show you is 3 demos. One, as I said, is going to use the Power BI to hook into your on-premise BAM database. It's not a straightforward way. There is an option, indirect way. Let's see this first. So as you see, we have a BAM database and where we instrument data. It could be BAM, it could be your own tracking database, your custom database where you log everything in. How we are going to show it in the BAM? How we are going to show it in the portal, our dashboard. As of now, if you still want to use as like the portal version, the portal in Power BI, you have portal and also the desktop. If you want to use the portal version, it can't directly connect to the on-premise SQL Server. You have an option. The option is you can use the Power BI desktop, connect to the on-premise SQL Server, which you can, create your nice reports, and use Enterprise Gateway and publish your reports onto the cloud into your Power BI dashboard. I'll show you that. This is the Power BI desktop. What I did is I just connected to the, you can add the, add the data source, get data, here, get data, connect it to the SQL Server on-premise, and then there are two options to connect. I'll say about that. There are two options to direct, import and the direct. Import is simply imports the data into a local data model of the Power BI. The other is the direct connection, the live connection to your data source. I would prefer to use the direct connection. The reason being, in this case, for connecting the on-premise, that is no straightforward. You have got to op it through an enterprise gateway, so it's better to have the direct connection into your data source. So whenever things changes, you can easily see. Let's see that in play. So I've just connected to the Power BI, and then I have a standard BAM, a couple of views, which tracks, which gets in the data. And based on the view, I just created the reports, whatever I need. And then you connect, you click on this. You click on this, so this will publish the entity into the new data set into the cloud, and things will come there. So I don't want to do this again. I will show what's happening in the portal. This is the portal version. This, I would say it's not as great as I would like to see in an HTML version, HTML5 version of a website, but it's on the right direction. When you see the other versions, which I'm going to show for the cloud and the combination of cloud and on-premise, you'll appreciate the real use of the Power BI. In my experience, anyone, especially the management team to whom this would be really helpful, or the operations team, when they see a Power BI with the proper details and analytical information on it, they will simply grab it. So let's go and drop a file. So I have a set of files. Standard file, I just created a standard orchestration which receives a message, sends an ACK, sends a delivery message, sends a delivery response. So this is a standard process. So as of now, I have, hopefully things will work. Otherwise, I've explained you what's going to happen. So you just drop in the messages. I've dropped in a bunch of messages. This is the portal. As you do normally, just go and refresh it. Fingers crossed. Oh yeah, there you go. So you have 11 orders now. I tried to create some dashboard which is similar to the BizTalk 360 dashboard. I don't think I can compete with the data analysis that they do, but to an extent. This is what's happening within the system. The message volume, I could able to create a graph based on the message volume here. So I just have 3 types of messages. I just showed the message volume at the peak time in which the messages are coming in. And this graph shows the value, the content, the value of the message. What time that I'm going to, I've received the I-value messages. Since I've used the same template, it's been a regular pattern. And this one gives you the content of the actual message. This HTML5 version gives you what you were missing in the Power BI, the nice dashboards, nice analytical view of what's happening within your BizTalk environment, the on-premise. Let's move on to the cloud version. I think if you have seen Jeff Holland's demo, it's based on that. The more interesting part is coming there. In this, the cloud version is going to be the combination of using multiple services on cloud. I use Logic App. I created a Logic App which tracks the messages, which tracks again an order message through an HTTP post, and I use Event Hub. And Event Hub, I think you had a deep dive classes yesterday from the Event Hub team. It's a nice scalable the service on cloud for handling the multiple millions of events per second and then stream it to multiple applications. So I stream the events. I send multiple events, the tracking events from my Logic App into the Event Hub. And then I have a stream analytics. The number of the streams that I send to Event Hub, I'm going to analyze this, hook on the stream analytics, read the stream. It's not the actual message. It's actually the stream that's been coming into the Event Hub so fast. So you have the stream analytics to do analysis on the stream. You write a simple query. I'll show you that. And then I send you 2 types of messages. There are 2 types of data in the current world, as you know. One is data in motion. You can still, the one which is being in transit. The other one is the data at rest. So you can do various sort of analysis on the data in motion. You can still, and also obviously for the, once the data goes and rest into a data store for the later, a longer period analysis, you can do your analysis part of it. So using the stream analytics, I can output to multiple outputs, or multiple outputs. In this case, I'm going to output the data in motion into Power BI, just to show some drama that how things light up. And then later into on some portion of, and the same copy of the data, I'm going to store it into the table storage. I've chosen table storage here for the scalability and the cost-effective reasons. Store the data into this table storage for the analysis. The services, what has been shown here, the event hub, stream analytics, table storage, they are none when compared to the cost. All of this has been chosen because of the scalable reasons, performance reasons, and most importantly, the cost effectiveness. So the value proportion that it could give to a company in terms of cost and the operational effectiveness is very high when you compare to the cost. So the effectiveness that you get from the operational, hooking the data operational wise is quite high compared to the cost that you spend on making the things happen. Let's see this in action. I'll show you this in action first, and then I'll show you how I've created it quickly. So this is the portal I created, and I'm going to send some data. So now I'm going to make an HTTP post, multiple HTTP posts, not many, 50. Make multiple posts and see how data goes into the Power BI, how data is shown here. Here, quickly you're going to see the data in motion, and also I'll show you how I've also collected the data into table storage for the later purpose. The table storage, when I mean by table storage, some people confuse it with the SQL table. No, they are not SQL table. They are table storage. I've chosen table storage, as I said, I don't need a proper complex relational database, and I just need some structured database, and table storage for completely fit into that build perfectly. So let's see this in action. Messages are being sent now. Hopefully things will work. Now it's been sent to the event hub. Stream analytics, there you go. Stream analytics reads a message, and it's constantly updating your dashboard. It's all happening there, a dynamic dashboard thing happening. This is what we get from the stream analytics bits. Remember in yesterday's session when during the Dan session he explained about, well, go guys, go and use the event hub stream analytics and have fun. And this is the fun that he was referring to. Let it finish. It's still updating the records. As you can see, I made sure that I failed some of the orders. So I changed the order value so it failed, and so it can be shown, and also the number of orders, as you can see, and the peak time in which the orders have been sent. These are the times that I've been trying it out. And again, also in the cloud, I also capture the data in terms of the types of orders, the types of messages being processed by the logic app. Let's go into how I've been doing this. Personal opinion, as of now, I'm using, in my logic app flow, I'm using event hub API, an API to send events to the event hub. So you could see the green ones, lots of green ones. In fact, the green ones are more than the actual, the actions are. They send events. So as and when an action completes, I send an event saying that action completes. I know what happened to that action. I also send the time and the event. As Jeff shown the other day, you're going to get Azure diagnostics. So you're not just going to get the diagnostics information about the flow, the logic app flow. You can also add in your custom tracking information in the code view into the Azure diagnostics. So Azure diagnostics will get the events from the actual flow, from the system level flow, like what happened, if anything goes wrong, what was an issue, and also your custom tracking events. As you said, it's going to be first, the Azure diagnostics is going to hook into Azure management services, but later on, it's also going to open it for the event hub. So you can, from the Azure diagnostics, you can also have your custom tracking event, which can send event to event hub and do the same what I did. So you don't need to have event hub API in that case. In that case, it will be something like enabling tracking on your BizTalk pods but the performance-wise, they are going to be no difference. When you enable tracking on the on-premise, you'll have performance issue, but it's going to be different in case of the cloud, where you simply going to send the Azure diagnostics and the actual events in two different, something like a threads. So that's the one you can expect from the Azure diagnostics option. Hopefully the connection to the event hub will happen soon. And the third demo, what I'm going to show is the unified option. Let's move on there. As of now, we saw how we connected the tracked data into the cloud from on-premise and then from cloud. And now we are going to see it on both. How I can use one Power BI portal to see data from cloud and also from the on-premise. In the previous demo for connecting the data into the on-premise data into Power BI, I used the on-premise SQL database. You have various options. It's all up to you. And in my case, what I'm doing is I've created a simple helper which sends the tracked data onto the cloud, and also the Logica which continues to send the data into the same event hub. So one event hub is going to get the information from my cloud and the on-premise. On my stream analytics, I write a query and I differentiate whether it comes from the cloud or from the on-premise, and then show it in the appropriate dashboards. Let's see this in action. As you can see, the on-premise, from the SQL server, I send the data into the, using an helper class. You could even use a custom appender or log for net, which sends data into the event hub. Sends the data into the same event hub where the logic hub is also sends its events. Input the stream into the stream analytics. Before that, I didn't show you whether it has actually written the data. So in the cloud version, we saw the data actually gone into the live motion. The live data in motion is shown in the Power BI. I also sent the message to the table storage. This is the table storage that I have. If you guys, so let's refresh this. Okay. Yeah, this is the table storage. By the time, this is the time that has been written. I think this is UTC. We are in British summertime. Believe this, we are in British summertime. Yeah. So going back, this is the cloud version. This is the unified version where the unified version. Let's go on and show the demo rather than spending time on the other things. Here you go. Once I finish, I'll show the stream analytics part, how I do the stream analytics, how I connect the stream analytics with the event hub and then to the various outputs. And this is the place where the one to my left is the data from the logic app. So I get the data here, and then the other one is from on my right is data from the on-premise, your own on-premise service, where I used a simple helper which also sends the events to the event hub. I use the same test harness here, a tool to stimulate the record. This is going to send, and again, a set of messages to see it in action. You never had this before to see a live dashboard which can see that. So the message has been sent, they have been hooked up, you see messages are getting updated now. I think I'm giving a live comment. That's how the technology has been now. You don't need to have a dashboard and then keep refreshing itself to see what's happening. You can maybe think about it. You can have a plasma TV on your operational side, just hook this and things will happen. I don't think the term magic is going to go away from BizTalk. I think people, after seeing this, and people still going to say data is still coming from the magic server, which is the BizTalk server in this case, or integration server now. So yes, the messages are being sent now still and is getting updated. If you see this chart, the data is also keep updating. The other interesting part, once this is finished, as they're still being sent, you can also query the data as you normally do with your BAM portal. That particular option is still not available with the first demo which I showed, where I connected to the BAM on-premise data using the direct connection. One of the disadvantages of using the direct connection is you will not be having the question and answer section. You can't filter out, or you can't search for the particular an event or a particular order as we normally do with your BAM portal. That's one which I'm expecting soon. Hopefully it will come. Orders are being generated. They have been sent. Have you seen this one? So if you see this one, you have a question and answer. It helps you to ask the questions. Let's say I want something like an order 100. Do I have an order 100? No. Let's see. One. Sorry, I think I'm not able to get you that. Anyway, doesn't matter. We have seen the meaty part of the demo. Let's see how could I able to do it. It's all about the stream analytics. As I shown, data, the events has been gone into the event tab. Events are coming in. I hook the stream analytics to read the events. I did a simple query. Let's see. This is the stream analytics. Pretty straightforward. As of now, other than the simple helper which send the message to the event tab for the events, I'm not written any code additionally for the instrumentation purpose. If your guys or if your company says, I don't want to spend any time on developing, then you don't need to actually spend any time. It's just click, on few SQL-like queries, you get more than what you expect. So this is the stream analytics. What you do is go to the input section of it, just hook to your event tab. So now the stream analytics looks into the event tab. Write a simple query. If you see here, this is a simple SQL-like query. Not exactly a SQL, but SQL-like, mostly like a SQL query. People who are familiar with SQL can easily able to get it there. And just to know the dynamic nature of it, I added something called a tumbling window. Tumbling window is a fixed interval window. So if you want to apply any calculations on the events that you are capturing, for that fixed period of time, you specify the tumbling window. I just set it to 5 seconds so that in the short period you can see the data moving across for the dynamic nature. So you write a query to capture, you write the query to analyze the stream, and then you output to the Power BI, or any output in this case. I have few outputs. I outputted some of the data in our data set into the Power BI and some into the table storage that I shown. So that's it. What I did, just gone to the wizard that's already available, connect my Power BI, give the connection string, connect to the Power BI, authorize it, write a simple query, you get all the things. So this is how our life is becoming so easy. The only thing what you got to know is, what you got to understand is, there are things available there, make use of it. It's something, as I said before, it's something like a mobile app on your application. You may have a camera phone, and you also have a camera on your WhatsApp. No, they serve two different. The camera on its own, on camera phone on its own, are two different purposes. They solve two different purposes. Just understand what each services in the cloud gives to you. Connect them together and make your application more smarter, more useful. This is where it comes into play. And the last, nice to haves. Yes, we have got some. We are there, but not completely. We are in the right direction. What we can, it's better to have in terms of what we expect from the community perspective, from the product team, is the BAM content pack. Content pack is something like, I have to create some of the data sets. I have to create the dashboards on my reports. Though it is a matter of few seconds, the guys who love to see the data coming up in a graph, it's really interesting. Otherwise, if you have a content pack, just download the content pack, add it into your Power BI, just give the connection string to your own local BAM database, you'll get it. So this is what I'm expecting, a pre-built data model and a dashboard, reports for the BAM or the BAM BizTalk related data would certainly help for people to embrace this technology. A more native support for the on-premise SQL, as I said, I have to publish I have to create the reports on the Power BI desktop, publish it to the cloud using the enterprise gateway. Why? It's a bit of an op for the message to go through. I think more better support would certainly help for people to consider this. The Q&A feature, which is available as of now on the BAM portal, which is not when you use the Power BI to directly hook into the on-premise SQL server, and more inbuilt support on the Azure diagnostic, which I said, it would be I think a game changer, I would personally say. So you don't need to enable tracking, you don't need to worry about tracking in terms of the cloud. Azure diagnostics is going to give it along with your custom tracking. Just hook into Event RB, Stream Analytics, and the Power BI. You know what's happening in your system. Yeah, that's it. Any questions? Thank you.